3 drop catches, 4 full tosses that were hit for 6. Your big buys in Cameron Green, Faf du Plessis, and Glenn Maxwell not contributing with the bat. You bench your best bowler in Vaishak Vijayakumar from the last game and don't play him in this one on slow bowling conditions where you just bowl pace on deliveries. And honestly, if you're an RCB fan just like me, don't defend the franchise. You deserve better. I don't even know where to start off with this one because, RCB lose by 28 runs in the end, but that's not even the problem. The problem lies in the fact that they don't come in with a plan for the game, right? Whether it's their batting department or their bowling department. They've been playing 3 consecutive games at this Bangalore pitch and should have known the conditions by now. It's not a flat pitch where you get 200 plus scores. It's a 160 run pitch, especially in the first innings where it's a bit drier. The bowlers can bowl their slow balls, and it's just so surprising that the Bangalore bowlers and the coaches haven't told them to bowl slow balls. What is Siraj doing? What is Alzari Joseph doing? He was not playing this game. Thank God he was not playing this game, right? In comes Reece Topley. He bowls a decent first 3 overs, and then the last over concedes 20 runs, which just spoils the whole evening of RCB. Look at the bowlers who did well on this pitch. Obviously, a Mayank Yadav who is just express pace, exciting to see, right? But then there was a Yash Dayal who varied his pace, did a good change up, bowled the wide Yorker, went in for the pace delivery, just showed a lot of variety. And then there was also a Glenn Maxwell, throw a spinner in there, just the slowness of the pitch, getting that extra bounce. It's not your regular Bangalore pitch where you get 200 plus scores. And it's still surprising that Mohammad Siraj just comes in bowling pace delivery, pace delivery. And then Cameron Green, for God's sakes, he bowled 2 overs. Pretty much 11 of those balls were pace on. Not a single ball. What am I meant to do as an RCB fan? Am I supposed to beg them? We've been begging for the last few years to get a good bowling lineup, and that's not really paid off. So at this point, you might as well go in with an all Indian pace bowling department and play a Will Jacks in your top order, because even Faf du Plessis is not looking good. Glenn Maxwell's not giving you anything with the bat, and Cameron Green was just shockingly he just didn't know what to do against the pace of Mayank Yadav. That peach of a delivery hitting the top of off. Cameron Green just didn't know what to do. He couldn't move back, he couldn't move forward, and he just got stuck in his crease and it just nips the top of off. That was just beautiful to watch. But just like my emotions right now, this game just flowed in so many different ways. So Lucknow Super Giants end up hitting 181 runs, which was actually not even that convincing because 24 runs came off freebies, absolute freebies of full tosses hit for sixes. Then 10 were wides, especially the 5 wides given by Mayank Dagar down the leg side. And then there were just some really disappointing bowling from the likes of Mohammad Siraj, Reece Topley at the back end, and even Cameron Green especially. He went for 25 runs in his 2 overs. And on a pitch like this where your slow balls are so good, in the last game, who were the standout bowlers? It was a Vaishak Vijayakumar on this Bangalore pitch. It was Andre Russell and it was Harshit Rana bowling those slower ones, those cutters. They would dig it into the pitch and would just be really hard for the batsmen to make that change when it wasn't the pace on delivery. So, they showed the way, and still somehow RCB managed to come up into this game and don't have a plan. They just bowled pace on, pace on. Same with Mohammad Siraj. On this kind of pitch, you have to bowl a good test match line and length and bowl the odd slower delivery. And they're just not doing that. And as an RCB fan, I'm so disappointed. I don't know what to tell them. I can't communicate my frustrations. Everybody's gonna be spamming them on Instagram or whatever. But I feel like I have some decent knowledge, and other RCB fans have it too, right? And they're just not listening. We've seen it for the last few years. We've seen it for the last decade. What has been wrong with this franchise? What certain roles players can handle and what they can't. This is a new management. Maybe they're not able to maybe they haven't recognized the fact that maybe an Anuj Rawat isn't good anywhere in the top order, anywhere in those first few overs. He came in at number 6 today, but still, there was so much of the game remaining. He was never going to be good in that situation. He's only good for the last few overs, which is why I wanted a Mahipal Lomror sent up the order, because he is a better contender versus spinners. And if you see Anuj Rawat, he only scored 11 runs of 21 balls. This is so reminiscent of what he used to do last season. It was just horrendous. So now in 4 games, RCB has won 1 and lost 3 with a horrible net run rate. And I can only hope that they've understood what this Bangalore pitch is like. They've played 3 consecutive games at Bangalore and still don't recognize the fact that this is a 160-run pitch. I mean, even Glenn Maxwell said in the interview that this was a tough run chase because 180 was just too much. You just gave too many bonus runs. I mean, if you saw the Lucknow batting innings, then it was just really mixed because they had a really good power play, getting about 60 runs in the first 6 overs. And from there on out, it was really weird because for 2 overs, RCB would do well, and then the next two, they would get smacked. I mean, after the power play, it was thanks to some really good bowling by Glenn Maxwell, who was just able to identify that perfect length, getting a little bit of bounce, and he was just able to adapt when the batsman was coming down the crease to try to hit him as well. And then there was a Yash Dayal who bowled a good mix of pace on and pace off deliveries and also hit that wide Yorker really well in the death. So he was a great thing to see. They also dropped 3 catches, one of KL Rahul that ended up going for 6, a Quinton de Kock who steadied the ship hitting 81 runs of 56 balls, and then a Nicholas Pooran who really punished the RCB bowlers in the death, hitting 41 runs of 20 balls. I mean, as a viewer, it was so frustrating to see because I just kept telling to myself, bowl a slow ball. Please, for the love of God, bowl a slow ball. And they just never did it. I mean, if Yash Dayal is bowling so well on the day, can the other bowlers not learn from him? I mean, as a fan, do I have to sit and teach them this? Aren't they professional cricketers? Like, what is going on with them? What is the management doing? What is the captain doing? Does Faf du Plessis not have an idea in the world? Does he not go in the game with a game plan? Because all I see him do after getting hit for a boundary is cry. Like, I always see him teary in his eyes. Like, I see no confidence in him as a captain, and it's just shocking. I mean, I don't want to insult him, but like, come on, show some confidence, show some strive, show some leadership. Are you going to be a choker of a captain again, just like for South Africa and now for RCB? I mean, at this rate, please get Virat Kohli back. At least we'll have some emotion with him. This guy just shows his blunt face. Like, seriously? Am I, as a fan, meant to be happy with the performance of our team? Oh, we lost by 29 runs. Yay! Don't defend them. You deserve better. I mean, as an RCB fan, I just want to walk in their dressing room and just yell at them. Because I've been seeing what each player does, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and why this management is not able to comprehend that in their tiny little brains. I mean, Faf du Plessis and Virat Kohli have been known to struggle against spin in the power play because they're just so reluctant to go the aerial route against the spinners, and they just try to take their time, right? So that was a good move by LSG, identifying that, played to their strengths and played against RCB's weaknesses, bowling Siddharth and Krunal Pandya in the power play. Stop sending Anuj Rawat up the order. I mean, for the last few seasons, I've been seeing him struggle whenever he comes up the order, whenever he's promoted, whenever he opens the innings, whenever he comes at number 3, it just doesn't work. Stop it. He's good as a finisher. Send him after Dinesh Karthik. Promote Mahipal Lomror up the order. He's been showing some really good form. Stop using him as an impact player and play him in the 11. Give him some more confidence. Give him some belief that he belongs here. He's been striking it so well. 33 of 12 balls today, some humongous sixes, and he did really well against the game in Punjab Kings. If you're an RCB fan who's been watching RCB for the last few years, for the last decade, or ever since their inauguration, you'll have to agree with me by the fact that besides their death bowling or besides their bowling in itself, the main issue with RCB over the years is that their Indian talent has never stood up. There was just Virat Kohli and a shadow, nothing else. And finally, this year in 2024, you're getting to see some young Indian talent step up. Whether that's a Yash Dayal with the ball, a Mahipal Lomror who's been striking it big, and then also Vaishak Vijay Kumar who did really well last game and is now being benched. How can they do this? The one weakness of RCB over the last decade has been that there have not been enough Indian talent who have stepped up, and this time they have, and you're putting them on the bench. If RCB want to get back to winning ways, this is what they're going to have to do. Play a Vaishak Vijay Kumar ahead of a Reece Topley in their starting 11, and then what they can do in their second bowling innings is use Reece Topley or Lockie Ferguson as an impact player because they only have 3 foreigners in their 11, and depending on conditions, they can choose one of them. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is play Yash Dayal in all your games, along with Vaishak Vijay Kumar. These two young Indian bowlers have shown some potential, shown some talent. Let them step up on the big occasion. I mean, Yash Dayal has conceded runs in 2 games, but he's also done well in 2 games. So if you're doing well for 7 out of 14 games, that's That's a bang for your buck. So that's point number two. Point number three, stop playing an Anuj Rawat as a floater up the order. That just never works. We've seen it time after time again. So instead of him, use Mahipal Lomror as your impact player earlier on. Throw him in at number 5 or number 6 as a left-hander. He's a much better prospect against spinners, and also he's shown a really good game against pace. He's been spanking them all over the ground. So use Mahipal Lomror up the order, then a Dinesh Karthik, and then an Anuj Rawat after over number 16. So Dinesh Karthik and Anuj Rawat are just left for that overs number 15 to 20, the death overs, and that's what RCB is going to have to do. These 3 points, they're going to have to change these if they want to get back to winning ways. There's no other way RCB is going to get back in their winning momentum. As a viewer, do I have to sit and teach this franchise every single little thing that they need to know? Do I have to spoon feed them? I will happily spoon feed them. But they're just not listening. Every RCB fan has been giving their opinion and they've just not been listening. It took 3 games for them to get rid of Alzari Joseph, who's just not shown any confidence, not a single smile on his face, and he just got hit for plenty. They finally made their change in Reece Topley, but their bowling plans still haven't changed. It's not the bowlers, it's your bowling plan that hasn't changed. Get that into your head, RCB. And then when it comes to the batting department, Faf du Plessis, 7 crores, Glenn Maxwell, 12 crores, and then Cameron Green, 17.5 crores, all down the drain. They haven't contributed at all, and they all looked clueless against Mayank Yadav. I mean, Mayank Yadav bowls the fastest delivery he has ever yet again, clocking 156.7 if I'm not wrong, and this time his first ball to Faf du Plessis, Faf just gets so scared that he's like, oh no, I don't want to face this yet again, so I'm gonna get over to the non-striker's end, and what do you know? He got run out. Devdutt Padikkal aiming at just one stump and he nails it. So he goes back. And then came in Glenn Maxwell, who during the mid-innings interview said that he's going to nail a few big blows to the LSG bowlers. And then what happens? He just looked completely clueless against Mayank Yadav's short ball. He skies it in the air. And he departs for another duck yet again. He hasn't provided anything with the bat. So at this point, you may as well play a Will Jacks ahead of him. But he's such a destructive player that you can't really replace him this early on in the season. He's going to have to stay along with the Faf because he's your captain. And I mean, at this point, give the captaincy back to Virat because he'll show some emotion, he'll show some aggression, and he'll actually talk to his bowlers. I mean, Faf du Plessis just, I don't know what he does. Does he even give his bowlers a plan? Does he talk to them, bowl the slow ball, tell him to do this, tell him to do that? But it just seems like he's crying on the field. And I don't want that. I don't want him as my captain if he's just going to keep showing no emotion time and time again. Oh, yeah, I forgot to even talk about Virat Kohli, but he's been doing so much in the last few games that I can't even blame him for his dismissal. He's been carrying the team, and apparently without him, the team just fails because people will criticize him if he's playing a 140 strike rate innings. But if he doesn't play that innings, then RCB just ends up losing by 30-40 runs. So that's the issue. I have no idea why people keep criticizing him and at the strike rate that he plays at. That was the game that he normally plays at is the game that Quinton de Kock played at today. He played, how much did he play? He played 81 of 56 balls, striking at 145, which is pretty much what Virat Kohli's been doing this entire season. But nobody's gonna throw shade at Quinton de Kock because he's won the game at the end of the day. So, I mean, Cameron Green looked absolutely clueless against Mayank Yadav. He just kept trying to swing and swing. It just connected once, and eventually he gets that beautiful ball hitting the top of off, that beautiful length that you don't really know whether to play back or forward. And that was just great to watch as a fast bowler myself. So, and then there was a Rajat Patidar who showed some decent signs of returning back to form. 29 runs of 21 balls, hitting 2 sixes and 2 fours. So maybe this was just what he needed to get a little bit more confidence back into his game. But besides that, it was mostly reliant on Mahipal Lomror, who just smashed 33 runs of 12 balls, batting better than Nicholas Pooran. I mean, it was a chanceless innings, but eventually he did get out, and then pretty much the game was done and dusted because Dinesh Karthik also went. It was the perfect ball to hit over fine leg, but he ends up gloving it straight back to the keeper. So Naveen Al-Haq gets an important wicket at a crucial time because at one point it was 78 runs of 30 balls. I mean, at that point, those were that was the last batting pair between Dinesh Karthik and Mahipal Lomror. So you didn't really expect it was going to happen. And it didn't, right? But you thought Dinesh Karthik might add some magic yet again. But this time it was instead Mahipal Lomror. So again, a few positives for RCB in the sense that they have some good Indian talent, whether that's Yash Dayal and Mahipal Lomror. Now all they have to do is get a game plan, stop messing around, bring back Vaishak Vijay Kumar. I don't know in place of who he's gonna play though, right? I mean, RCB still end up hitting 150 runs, right? Which is about 7.5 runs and over. So, I mean, if you look at Mayank Yadav, he was just outstanding. 14 runs, 3 wickets in 4 overs. I mean, an economy of 3.5. That was just fabulous, and everybody just loves to see pace, right? I mean, it's probably too early to talk about him for the T20 World Cup, but he's making a really good case for himself, considering that none of the other Indian bowlers have stepped up. It's only Jasprit Bumrah, and you just don't know who the other pace is going to be. So maybe Mayank Yadav, if he has a really good season from here on out, still, I mean, he already picked up like 5 wickets, right? So I mean, if he can just keeping on, so he might just get into the Indian team, which is, I mean, who wouldn't want to see that? I know I've been ranting about RCB this whole time, so let's just talk about the Lucknow Super Giants batting innings for a second, because Quinton de Kock, 81 runs off 56 balls, striking at 145. He steadied the ship really well. He bludgeoned the bowling in the power play. He got them off to a really good start, but he went through that low phase against Glenn Maxwell and Yash Dayal in the middle. But he accelerated at the right time again. He chewed off Cameron Green and Mohammad Siraj in the middle overs, and then he finished off 81 of 56. At the end of the day, he's won the game. So, especially he can bat at that strike rate, considering he was partnered up with a Nicholas Puran who was batting at 200 pretty much, hitting 40 runs of 21 balls. Those 2 full tosses that he creamed from Reece Topley over point was just great to watch. They were so flat and so power packed. Then there was also a smaller cameo from KL Rahul and Marcus Stoinis, so they pretty much finished on 182, and that was going to be way more than enough. At the end of the day, Lucknow Super Giants have won the game by 28 runs, and that just leaves RCB in a really bad position because they've only won 1 game and lost 3, which is not good signs, because especially considering the fact the only game they won is against Punjab Kings, which is pretty much the eighth, which was one of the bottom teams considered for this tournament. I mean, I'm just going to keep saying it over and over again, so there's really no point. So this is my rant over. Lucknow deserved to win today. I'll see you all next time.